Good morning. Donnie Wanders here, and today I have wandered to the Keppoch Mountain in Antiginish County, Nova Scotia. The Keppoch used to be an old ski resort, a small ski resort, and it operated, I think, through the 1980s and 90s, and then it shut down, so it was privately run. And then some nonprofits here in Antiginish County got together and decided to revamp the facility. So now it's, I think it's used for skiing in the winter, snowshoeing, which is what I'm doing today on this lovely trail. And in the summertime, it's used for mountain biking. So on the weekends, apparently in the summer, they run a shuttle, and I think they call it a gravity park, where if you bring your bike here, you can put your bike on a trailer and they truck it up the mountain for you, and then you can ride down. And I can't remember what that costs, but it's not a lot, and apparently it's really, really fun. But today, I don't expect we'll see too many mountain bikers because, as you can see, the trails are pretty covered in snow. But I'm going to do a little 4-kilometer snowshoe hike around this trail. So there is a fee to enter the facility. Of course, I got here, the sun was not quite up yet. I don't know if the sun is up now, actually. So the facility wasn't open, and I wasn't sure how I was going to pay my $5 to use the trails. Where it is a non-profit, the fees are go towards trail maintenance and that sort of thing. But when I got here and pulled into the parking lot, they had this little kiosk, an electronic kiosk, where you can pay for your pass for the day. So it was very easy. And now I've entered the part where it's very hard because I'm walking uphill. It's pretty cold today. It's like -4, not super cold. But what's really nice about coming out this early in the morning, other than having the place all to myself, is before the sun comes up, there's usually not a lot of wind. So it's a really beautiful morning here. Here's the sun, just peeking up over the horizon through the trees. Beautiful sunrise. There are deer tracks all along this portion of the trail, and they come from over there. It looks like this deer headed that way. I don't know if we'll see any deer today, but you never know. Well, it looks like we have reached the summit. There's a couple of signs up here. And the summit east, which is where we just came up. And then that one is the sign to summit west. So that's where we're going to go down. There's a lovely little shelter right over here too. So let's go have a look at that. Well, here's the little shelter at the peak. There is a giant red chair that is tipped over, probably to keep snow off it for the winter. But the views up here, look at that, beautiful. And another one like this. And there's a monument up here as well to Alexander MacDonald, the Keppoch Bard. He was a poet that immigrated here from Scotland, settled here on the Keppoch like a lot of Scottish families did in the 1800s, and wrote a whole bunch of poems about this area. It certainly is inspiring, so I can understand that. It says, "My poem will go into print so that the chorus of my renown will not be forgotten. They will hear throughout the country the extent of the fellowship and hospitality we had." And of course, written above in Gaelic, which is still spoken in some places here in Nova Scotia. There are a lot of Scottish settlers here throughout the 1800s. That was a lot of hiking uphill. Now we're headed to the west side, the lodge, where we parked. And this is going to be a lot of downhill. The views are so great up here. When I was walking uphill on the east part of the trail, there weren't a ton of views, but man, oh man, look at that. The west side of this trail does not disappoint. I'm really glad that I hiked up the east side first, because it didn't feel that steep. There were lots of switchbacks over there, but this is quite steep. But that's okay. I've got my snowshoes have like grippy claw things on the bottom, so I'm probably not gonna, hopefully not fall down, tumble down that hill. Oh good, walk down, now we get to walk right back up. What a beautiful forest. Big old deer tracks in here. I think the angle of the angle on the camera here, I'm hoping is capturing how steep this mountain is right here. I'm almost back to the parking area. I'm one kilometer to the lodge, and this is where the summit loop starts. So there's lots of signage in here. It's easy to get lost in here because there are so many trails, like these signs. There's lots and lots of trails, and there's signs marking them all. So when I say lost, you're not actually lost. You just may not be on the trail that you had originally hoped you were going to take. So that happened to me a couple of times. I took a couple of wrong turns and then realized, okay, I'm not on the summit trail anymore. But it's hard to get off trail, but easy to take maybe the trail that you hadn't intended. But there are lots of signs around here, and I actually use the All Trails app to navigate my way through here too. So when I thought I might be going in the wrong direction, I popped open the app and just had a look, and had to double back, I don't know, maybe 50 meters or something like that, not very far. Just a quick note on the mountain. The summit, where you cross over from the Summit East Trail to the Summit West Trail, or Summit West to Summit East, depending on which direction you've hiked the trail. The elevation there is about 220 meters. So it's not a super high mountain. We don't have really big mountains here in Nova Scotia. The geology here is really old. And we're actually with the northeastern tip of the Appalachian Range. So because the mountains are very old here, they've gone through a lot of erosion, and over thousands, tens of thousands of years, they have kind of worn down. So the geology here is quite gentle. We don't have any 14,000 foot peaks or anything like that. It's not the Rocky Mountains. Still really lovely to explore. You do still get some really great views. So I would definitely recommend checking out the Keppoch because it's such a well-kept facility. So my hat's off to the non-profit organizations that have gotten this facility up and running after it was shuttered for a few years, because they're doing a really great job. Well, I'm back at the parking lot. When I got here this morning, it was a little too dark to show you around, but I thought since the sun is up now and it's a lovely day, I'd give you a quick little overview of what's here. So there's a little lodge, and then that little kiosk right behind my head is where you can check in when you register. And then there's also some signage and information over here, and just behind the lodge there is a little area where it looks like a little pump track. It's covered in snow, but it's called the Bicycle Skills Park. Not too many bikes out today, but I bet that's really cool in the summer. So let's go have a quick look at the sign that's here that greets you when you arrive. So here's the sign. Of course, we've got a map in the middle with all the trails. And then over here is emergency information. And here is the sign that gives you a little bit of information about the folks who keep up this park and the fees. Here's the other thing that is right at the main parking area. So it does show the trail fees, and then this little electronic kiosk is where you can pay your $5 to use the trail for the day. So that was really handy, and I was very happy to pay $5 to explore this beautiful facility. Well, that's it for me for today here at the Keppoch Mountain. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do have to wrap it up now because I have to get to work. So I walked about 4.5 kilometers up the Keppoch Mountain and took the Summit Trail. So I went Summit East and then took the west side back down. I'm going to put some information in the video description. So if you're interested in checking out the Keppoch, I'll put a link to their website there. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you have any comments, you can leave them below. I love to read all your comments. So thanks very much. And Donnie Wanders, we'll see you in the next one.